What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another 2022 NBA mock draft video to, of course, be going over with you guys. This time, actually going to be talking about who I think the Houston Rockets should, of course, select with their third overall pick. Again, this is a really interesting one because there's been a lot of news and speculation, especially at the time of making this video, that's actually surrounding reports that said that the Houston GM thinks that there is a big chance that they could actually potentially move on from the pick and, you know, use it in trade conversations where they could lure in a bunch of other picks, maybe, you know, lure in some other picks and some role players, this and that. Who really knows what's going to happen? I think it's safe to say that the obvious, thing that we would all assume would happen right now is Houston would just go in and take that third pick to the draft, then select a player. And again, I think I've got the perfect player for them to actually take. Of course, this will be a official clip from my 2022 NBA mock draft. Again, I will be linking that in the description down below. You guys can go and check it out. See who I have all these other teams, of course, taking, and you know, just again, get a good idea rather of who has been going in front of this pick. And again, just some of the other teams below this one and who they potentially take. So of course, go and check it out. I'll be linking it in the description down below. And yeah, I guess without further ado, here's who I have the Houston Rockets selecting with the third overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft. Another team that I think's done pretty lucky in this draft because it's so forward heavy and they needed forward in the Houston Rockets. There's of course one already there. Again, now that Jabari Smith and Chet Holmgren aren't on the board, they don't probably really care a whole lot anymore anyway, because Paolo Banchero is sitting right there. A dude that is another really good power forward in this class. He obviously does a lot of things. Again, 6'10", pretty similar height, of course, to Jabari Smith, but I feel like a little bit of a different type of player. Again, Paolo Banchero, in my opinion, I think is a lot better at potentially switching over to that 5 than what, of course, Jabari Smith potentially would be. I think Banchero, he is a solid power forward. It does a lot of the things that you want offensively. He's actually got some interesting comparisons here, actually being compared to a bigger David West. Apparently a little bit of Blake Griffin in him as well. He's not necessarily the greatest defender, which I think is what separates him from Jabari Smith. Again, he does reportedly need to be better when it does come to the perimeter defense. But again, this is a really, really athletic dude that can low-key sometime actually play make, like can actually be really good with the handles, pretty good with the ball movement, just pretty good with the ball in his hands in general. Just has like a really, really diverse skill level, I think, for a player of his height. And again, offensively, he is pretty good. He's got a pretty decent mid-range. His three-point shooting could definitely potentially use some work, but hey, for a 6'10" dude that's just coming in, you know, it can take time. But honestly, the Houston Rockets have time. I think they're still really developing quite nicely, and yeah, I think his offensive fundamentals do help out quite a bit for this Rockets team. Again, they might want to look to bring in a good perimeter defender at that small forward position in free agency. I'm not too sure how Banchero and Christian Wood, I think center and power forward duo would go. Both of those players would be pretty athletic for their heights, and I think, the floor spacing would be really, really good, and the offense would be really nice. The defense, though, might be a little bit inconsistent, especially if Banchero doesn't, develop straight away into being a good NBA perimeter defender. But honestly, the Houston Rockets, they're in a situation where it doesn't really matter at this point. They can figure this out long term. It's not even a certainty how much longer Christian Wood will be on this team. Whether they have him, staying on the team will be up to a big question. But either way, they desperately need a power forward right now. Like, their big man depth is honestly one of the worst in the NBA. And to bring in a really, really athletic 6'10" power forward that can switch over on the center position, pretty good interior defender, while having a lot of those nice offensive fundamentals and skills. He's just a really good guy that you're definitely going to want to bring in if you are the Houston Rockets. So yeah, I really like this pick. Even though he might not add as much defense as what a Jabari Smith would potentially to the team, especially out on that perimeter, I still think it's a pretty nice pick for them. And yeah, again, in another class, if you were to see 2 forward/centers pretty much go in the first 2 picks, you'd be like, damn, I'm left with a guard here. But again, this class is so heavy with forwards that a team like the Houston Rockets could, you know, draft, again, maybe the 3rd best power forward in this class, but he would be probably the best forward in any other class, you know, some of them. So yeah, Paolo Banchero, absolutely still pretty much for the Rockets. They've done really well here, and that's who I would have them picking. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you guys agree with my top 5 mock draft? Do you guys not? Of course, I would definitely like to know. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, my IRL/Long channel. All of them will be linked in the description down below, and check out my podcast as well if you haven't already, which will all be linked in the description down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.